All right, we are here live at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, where we like to start off the weekend every Friday the right way, the Hard Rock way. And thank you so much for taking the time as we go behind the scenes of the Press of Atlantic City at the Shore Magazine and Atlantic City Weekly, telling you all things going on in South Jersey. A fitting opening, I think, for an interview that I've waited a very long time for. One of my favorite singers-songwriters in the world is with us, Adam Duritz of the Counting Crows. He is bringing his band in this mid-pandemic, almost post-pandemic world. Saturday, August 7th, 7 o'clock at the Hard Rock Edis Arena. Tickets start at just $39. You can get them at Ticketmaster.com, or of course, you can always go to HardRockHotelAtlanticCity.com. The one and only Adam Duritz joins us. Hi, Adam.
Hey, man, how you doing?
A real pleasure, brother. It's great to see you. And I thought that song was fitting. I always said if I was going to interview on the radio, you sing about being on the radio, so that sounded appropriate. How are you? How is life, man? How are things? As we try to come out of this thing.
Things pretty good. I mean, I'm concerned about other people, really, but I'm doing all right myself. I'm vaccinated, living in New York. It's pretty good. Everyone seems to be real careful around here. It has been the whole pandemic.
I'm not too far down the Parkway from you, and we have I guess over 70% of people vaccinated. I guess it's a pandemic of the unvaccinated now. We got to do our part to try to convince as many as we can, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I get that it's everybody's choice, but for me, for my job, I'd like to get back to playing shows. I'd like people to come out.
Yeah.
The only thing I do worry about is unvaccinated people at the shows. I think, I want them to be safe and take care of themselves, but I want them to come out to the shows. And look, it's pretty harmless. Just better safe than sorry. Go get vaccinated and come out and see some rock and roll.
I agree, man. You're surrounded by some art. Is that you, brother? Is that yours?
Oh, hell no. Friend Felipe Molina, who painted the cover of Somewhere Under Wonderland and the live album earlier. And he did a painting for every song on that record. That's Palisades Park right there. And I think
that's awesome.
The Scarecrow painting is back there. Yeah.
What is the one with the kind of the gumball head with the hat on top of it? Did he draw that too? Did he paint?
No,
that?
That's Dave McKean.
Oh, okay.
Did all the covers for Sandman comic books. He did that cover for This Desert Life, and he actually did a different work of art for every song on that record. It was kind of cool. The book was filled with those.
You think about a coffee table book with all this stuff someday?
No, I don't know.
I don't know, man. That would be cool. All the art that corresponds. I think that'd be really neat.
Short book.
I should have. I have a picture of a painting, an original that I bought in New Orleans that is based on your Rain King. I'm sure you got no royalties of it, but it's this beautiful picture that's in the style of the art of him. And he has the umbrella, and there's a Rain King, and there's a crow in the background. And it's a total homage to you guys, but it doesn't it's really cool, but it's on my wall in my house. So something you probably never saw that's out there, and it's a really beautiful piece of work. Adam, congratulations on the new album. It's fantastic. For those who don't know, the Counting Crows have a really, really beautiful 4-song EP out. It is called the Butter Miracle Suite. You want to go check this out. It's 4 songs, and I can't stop listening to it. Honestly, I love it. And I think and this is Suite 1, by the way. One of the things I think that's tells signs of greatness is that when you hear somebody's music and you immediately identify the artist with it. And I think that as soon as you hear the first track of this album, it's Adam and it's the Counting Crows, and I guess that's just a beautiful thing coming out of the pandemic, a little uplifting. And where did this come from? Was this during the pandemic you wrote it? How did it come out of you?
No, we finished touring the end of the summer of 2019, and I went to England after that. And I've been spending a lot of time on a friend's farm in the West. And I was out there again, sometimes with my girlfriend, sometimes with my friend and his family, but a lot of the time just by myself with 2 dogs out there. And I spent a lot of time wandering in the woods, and I kind of wanted to play piano. I rented a keyboard. And about 2 days after I started playing, I wrote The Tall Grass, the first song on the EP. And then the next day I was playing it, trying to figure out if it was really done. I was working mostly on the ending, and I was playing the end, the I Don't Know Whys over some different chords, trying that out. And I really liked that. And then I found myself singing this line just off the top of my head, Bobby was a kid from around the town. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. Maybe this song is longer than I thought, and like Palisades Park, where it has different movements. And I started working on it some more. And then I thought, no, you know what? I realized this isn't an extension. This is a whole different song, which it turns out it was Elevator Boots.
Wow.
But I couldn't help noticing how cool it was that it just flowed directly out of The Tall Grass, that it never stopped, like one long song. And then I thought, what if I read a series of songs where the end of one is the beginning of the next, and it flows like a suite of music. And I got really excited about that idea, and that made me want to do this. And so everything after that was kind of written with that in mind.
The only thing that I don't like about it is that it's too short. I guess after 4 I want more, but there's going to be more, right? It's the Suite 1 is kind of like when you have you name anything part 1, people expect part 2, right? Is that something like already in the works, or just something in your head?
Well, when I did it, there wasn't really plans for it to be anything other than what it was, because I didn't really know if it would work. I mean, other than in my imagination. I mean, it was composed to work and we recorded it to work, but you don't really know, when you do something like this, it's so different from everything else we've ever done. And but when I finished it and we listened to it, when we finally mixed it and cut it all together and heard it,
mm-hmm.
It was so cool that I thought I would like to do this more. But,
So the way the songs flow into each other, like one masterwork, was that something that you envisioned, or was that something that a producer led to that, or was that in your thoughts right away?
Well, as soon as I realized that Elevator Boots was not just the end of The Tall Grass, or that it was a different song, I wanted to do a series of songs that were connected like that.
Right.
So everything after that, when I finished Elevator Boots, that ending and how it ended sort of determined where I was starting on the next one, and that was Angel 14th Street. And I knew that was going to have a really big, powerful ending. And in my head, I wanted to crash down into these big power chords. So that kind of determined how I wrote Bobby and the Rat Kings, which is the last song.
Right, which is awesome. So we're going to play that as we exit the interview. We're going to play a little of Elevator Boots in a second. But Counting Crows Butter Miracle Tour comes to the Hard Rock Live at Edis Arena, 7 o'clock, Saturday, August 7th. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. They start at just $39. Absolute unbelievable no-brainer show to go see. The last time I saw you guys was in Borgata, out on the lawn outside. It was a gorgeous scenario out there, and this will be the first time that you guys are playing this live, right? All 4 songs, right?
Yeah, we've still never actually played it as one. When we recorded it, we didn't play them as separate songs. We would play and we would go into about the first verse of the next song, and then we would stop. So right. We made sure all the transitions were there. But no, we never played it as one whole. That's like an experience still waiting out there for me to have.
So the Hard Rock's the first part of your tour. So either we're going to have just an amazing experience seeing 4 songs never played before, or we're going to be able to witness something that's truly terrible and see the progression as it goes on from there.
Who doesn't want to watch trains collide? I mean, everybody does. We like to watch when buildings get blown up and then fall down. It's that kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, but that's fun. But there's, one of my favorite quotes as you know, as a newspaper writer is, Hemingway said, there is nothing to writing. All you do is sit down at a typewriter and bleed. Is that the way you approach writing? Is it like, oh, like, or do you enjoy the process of it?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I mean, I
Right.
also what he meant was you're sort of cutting yourself open for everybody else to see what's inside,
The
like,
soul. Yep.
so it is a bit of that, but that's what it's supposed to be. You're talking about how you feel, what you
Yeah.
think.
Well, so did this one, like you said, it kind of flowed out of you with that second song. But I was interesting. I saw Dave Grohl do an interview recently, and he says how he writes songs and he sends them to be fooified or whatever he called it. Is that kind of how, like, when you get your stuff done and you send it to your bandmates? Is that when it kind of becomes a little something different, or you know what I mean? Like, I love the part of the songwriting process. It always intrigues me when it comes to a band, especially when you're working remotely like that. How did it work? How does it work for you guys? Is there a point where you hand it off and then it just becomes something totally different?
Well, I think there's a lot of different parts to being in a band. You have songwriting, and I think people get really excited about like how much that means. Like they have a songwriter. You have playing stuff on tour, and I think people get really into that. But I think the part that people don't realize is actually probably the most important part. That when you write songs, I mean, not that it's not important, but all you're really bringing to the band is a skeleton. It's some chords and some words. The thing that takes place when you start collaborating there that turns that little skeleton into a song, when you love a band, whether you know it or not, that's what you love. Mm-hmm. That moment, that transition from this kind of very bare bones thing to rock and roll to a real song, that's the collaborative moment. That's the most important moment to me about being in a band. That's, if you love a band, that's what you really love, because that's where the thing you love gets actually made. I find that to be fascinating. That part is the coolest part to me, when we're in the studio and we're turning these little, like Tallgrass is a perfect example. It's really a song. It's got a first part and it's got a second part. A second half is a different part. And it was really kind of just a 2-part song. But when we went to make it, it's got all these different dynamics. It builds and builds and builds and all these different sections. That's something we came up with as a band. That wasn't really, I had ideas for that when I wrote it, but I wouldn't say I really wrote that in there. We did that all together. And I think that's really cool.
100%. We're talking to Adam Duritz. Counting Crows Butter Miracle Tour comes to Hard Rock 7 o'clock. Edis Arena. Get your tickets, Ticketmaster.com. We're going to play a little bit of the first single is this the first single? I guess it's probably been about 7 or 8 years, right, Adam?
I don't know. Probably, yeah.
Probably. And so for anybody who hasn't heard it yet, it is right up the Counting Crows alley, and I think people are really going to enjoy it. But here it is, Elevator Boots. Maybe. There it is.
Bobby was a kid from round the town, kicks pumped up and head held down, underwater more than he was up. He dreamed submarines in bottle green, imaginary flight machines, but in blue jean flares he'd bubble like a 7-Up. Everybody wants to know you when you're the only one to know. Shoot it till you feel alive and play one more show. Looking at the bus, shake you till it turns around. You can't stop feeling the cosmic suits and the elevator boots us down. You can't help feeling they want you and you want to, with their lips on fire and your head unscrewed. But it's time to whip another change and hit one more town.
All right, there it is. The first single from the brand new album that is absolutely worth checking out from the Counting Crows, Butter Miracle Suite 1. I think that you're a poet, you're a lyricist, you're an amazing songwriter. But I love, this kind of continues a lot of things where you have characters, right? You're also a storyteller, and whether it's the Rain King or whether it's Anna, or the one that's always stuck in my head is the woman, because we're in a gambling town, the woman who goes to the racetrack, and I love that song. Just I love all the characters. You put together almost a little bit of a world, and you're a little like you're a little comic book guy like I am as well. So you almost created this Counting Crows universe. Like, I just would love to see. You ever think of putting it to words other than your songs, or doing anything from a storyteller standpoint that's not related to music?
Not these songs. Maybe I was working on a play for a while with a friend of mine, but those were songs for the play. They weren't really not taking the records and making. They're really not intended for that. Right. I mean, I see people do those jukebox musicals, but I never think they're any good.
Well, we got the Rain King, and now we got Bobby and the Rat King, and we have all these great little things that, which is great that you have artists that kind of put some of this to life, which is really cool. So what's the next? What's Sweet 2? Are there thoughts in your head?
I just got back from England. Actually, I was over there for the month of June. I got back about a week ago, and I have another Sweet. I'm still working on it, but it's pretty much written. I'm just tightening it up.
That's awesome. Life in New York. You lived most of your life on the West Coast. Has that been good for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've lived here at this point for 18 years.
Oh, so really? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was a recent thing. Oh,
no, I mean, I moved to California when I was 10. I moved to New York when I was 39, I guess.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
I lived in Texas before that, and I was born on the East Coast.
And I read that you're in a great relationship, and has that been a positive for your music?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it made it okay for one thing to take time off and not make a record. Not really time off. We were touring,
right?
But also it's a big part of what these songs are about. I think, yeah, very much. Especially like I wouldn't have wanted to go through this pandemic on my own.
Yeah,
that would have been terrible. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy and satisfied, and I'm making music because I feel like it now, which is great.
That's great, man. So we're gonna let you go because I want to play a little Bobby and the Rat Kings for the audience before we hit ABC News. But so what do we expect? Hard Rock? You're gonna bring out the hits, bring out this album. You looking forward to hitting the stage again?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm a little agoraphobic from not having left the house in 2 years. But,
I hear you, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I know it's a personal choice for everybody, but I really hope people get vaccinated so they can come be at the concert safely. As far as what the shows, I don't know. We change our shows every night, so I don't know what's coming up that evening, let alone 2 or 3 weeks from now, whenever it is. I'm looking forward to getting into the rehearsals in about a week or so and working on the suite. One thing I can tell you is that there will be a suite somewhere smack dab in the middle of this, and that'll be cool.
Oh, I don't know. Really looking forward to it, man. Well, Atlantic City's always glad to have you, man. It's been good to you, I think, and the band, and we look forward to having you back. Here is the song Bobby and the Rat Kings from the Butter Miracle Suite 1. Adam, it's been a total pleasure, brother. Thank you, man.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
All right, here it is, Bobby and the Rat Kings, and we'll then go to ABC. Thanks, brother.
Bye, TV sells, and it almost never stop wishing we were somebody else. But tonight in the dark, I can be myself. When Bobby and the Rat Kings come to play, we'll make them stay. We'll make them play. I'll play till the stars all fade. We'll make them stay till dawn. Make them play all night till the light, like we never see nothing, like we'll never see anybody ever again. When the Rat Kings go away,
WOND. The numbers keep going up. California's COVID cases jumping to nearly 8,000 daily cases. Earlier this week, it was 5,000 daily cases. The Delta variant also fueling cases in states like Florida, Alabama, with low vaccination rates. Another pandemic problem, a backlog of U.S. passport applications. Traveler Melanie Morrow already had to move